not wanting to do YouTube, kind of got dragged into it, but it's a good thing. The goal of this is to get the kids and the veterans into the outdoors, and I do giveaways. I take veterans out sturgeon fishing, walleye fishing, salmon fishing. With these lures here in front of me, I got a lot of great sponsors that back me. Dumpum and Latham's in the house today. The sponsors mean everything. They really do. They're good friends of mine. I'm not going to talk too much about fishing. There's so many videos you can see techniques. I use techniques that a lot of people don't. I use techniques that a lot of you guys do use. I love to fish everything. I'm not just a walleye fisherman or a salmon fisherman. I fish anything from a crappie all the way up to sturgeon. So everything that runs in the Great Lakes, I fish for. And most of the time I'm using artificial baits. These Dumpum plastics right here will catch you anything from a crappie all the way up to a sturgeon. I did it just to be funny. Gummy worms, I've caught my limits of walleyes on gummy worms. These Latham Customs in front of me are awesome to use. There's really not much to talk to you guys about fishing right now. Everybody knows right now is the time to go trolling, you know, so you want to go troll for cohos. The river out here in front of Lexington is doing really well. Great time using these body baits. It's just a great time to get a crush on those. Pretty soon the suckers will be, they're already up in the Mill Creek and out in the Yale out at the dam out there, but the creeks where you can go spearing them, they're all beached off right now, so we need a warm rain for that. It's just that time of year. A lot of good crappie fishing going on right now. I can't tell you all the spots or I'd get shot, but it's just, my whole channel is based on getting kids like Austin. I like promoting that kid, he's a great kid. And any kid, Ian, any kid I can get outdoors, off video games, you can't learn anything off video games, you just can't. I've watched my kids, and I mean, I'm not saying don't go play a video game from time to time to have fun, because all my kids play them. But they'd rather be out in the woods picking morels and asparagus. Me and Willie, we'll go asparagus. Willie's over there. We'll go asparagus and morel hunting, and turkey season comes around. If we don't, we'll go out turkey hunting in the morning. We'll forage the rest of the day. Why Sean's at home building his own custom rods and fishing the creek behind the house, and Jason, he's on a scooter, well, not for a couple, probably years now, but it's about getting the kids outdoors. My whole channel is based on getting the kids outdoors, taking veterans, because you never know what they've been through, getting the veterans outdoors, and I've had some great talks with veterans that won giveaways and stuff like that. And some of the stuff they've been through is just, it literally will hit hard when they start talking to you about it, and just some of the greatest people there are around, period. We get to do what we do because of those guys, so. That's about all I'm going to talk about, really. I'm sure you guys already know that you guys could have got your burger for $6. I've seen everybody eating. John's display here got totaled. A lot of people bought these. All right, I tell you to come. You can still come check these out. These are great baits, custom painted. He's an artist, best lure painter there is in the whole state of Michigan. Anywhere around, you ain't gonna find a better lure painter. Dumpum Plastics got all the stuff over there. What I use, you'll see in all my videos. But other than that, I come here to see John, so on his book tour here, he's a legend of the whole state of Michigan, the best conservation officer the state has ever seen, hands down. And I don't mean to talk negative about the newer conservation officers, but they're not the same anymore. So I'd just like John to come up here and talk now, because I come here to see John, and I'm sure everybody else did anyway. So I'd like Mr. Borkovich to come on up and talk about his stuff now.
Thanks, John. Can you tell us about how many sturgeon you catch?
I do. Okay, so I begged many people to take me out sturgeon fishing, and Mr. Latham had a guy lined up to take me, and my buddy Jojo called me, and he's really good at sturgeon fishing. And I said, I just want to catch one to knock it off my bucket list, because I've never caught a sturgeon. I've caught every other fish in Great Lakes that is known about. There's stuff out here we don't know about on fish. But everything that's known about I've caught besides the sturgeon. And I fished from 8 o'clock at night until 8:35 the next morning, and I caught my first sturgeon, and it was 68 inches. And it hooked me. And this was just last year. So I said, well, we're canceling the west side of the state trip. We're not going salmon fishing, hunt. I'm going to fish these sturgeon pretty hard. And I set up for it. Ended up taking the most inches in the sturgeon tournament. We caught 26 sturgeon that night. Our slowest night was a 7-fish night, fishing for 4 or 5 hours with sturgeon. So I've got them dialed and I'm keyed in on them sturgeon. So can't wait that they changed it from night fishing this year to daytime fishing. It's anybody's game, but I'm hoping to take that title again because now they made that the category to win the whole thing is the most inches. But I beat everybody, all the charter captains. I beat them by 900 inches, just over them. So. It was a great time. Lots of sturgeon. I catch a lot of sturgeon. So if you guys watch my channel, I do giveaways on sturgeon trips, and most anglers never caught a sturgeon. If they did, it's been by accident. I didn't know that. I thought like I'm the only guy that's never caught a sturgeon, you know, but there's a lot of guys that's never caught a sturgeon. So I do a lot of sturgeon giveaways. A lot of people love the turkey hunt. I love the turkey hunt. That's coming up. I do turkey hunt giveaways. I do fishing tackle box giveaways. I do some Latham. I ain't gonna give up too much information, but I got some really good giveaways coming up. You'll get some. I just do good giveaways. Every other Thursday we do a giveaway. It was every Thursday. We went to every other Thursday. I do weekly fishing reports, and I also have an episode of my beautiful wife over here, Holly. It's called In the Kitchen with Holly, where we're cooking wild game or fish every week, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So make sure you guys subscribe. John brought some of my cards here because I forget everything, even my head. But there's some of my cards if you guys need them at Spars Outdoors on YouTube. And just enjoy it. I wish there were more people here, but it is what it is. There is more people than I thought was here, though, now that you're all sitting down. So that's pretty cool. Got Bob Barham back here. He's the best guide you will find. He's a guide at the Rooster Ranch. He's awesome. He's got state champion dogs. So if you ever want to go on a great pheasant hunt, that's the man to get a hold of. The Rooster Ranch is awesome, and he's got the best dogs you will ever find. I promise you that. So that's all I got to say. Now I'm ready to listen to John. So you ready, John? All right, let's bring John up.
All right, before I start talking, I want to mention Sean real quick. That's a success story right here. The guy's doing what he loves. He loves fishing and hunting. Now he has an outdoor channel. That's a miracle that you're able to do that.
That's absolutely right.
Look at these kids. Austin's got his own business. Your kids are all into this. This is very important, especially nowadays with what's going on in our world.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to see Sean doing well. I'm going to. I walk around a lot when I talk, so bear with me here. I'll be wandering back and forth. As I talk, you guys already know who I am, I think. This is not a purse either, by the way. This is my gun is money, so don't laugh at me first. But as I talk, everybody, I'm John Borkovich. You may know me. Most of you already do. I worked as a conservation officer for over 27 years. My whole life, all I've done is love outdoors. Hunting, fishing, boating, hiking, anything outside. I was the kid in school that stared out the window all day instead of paying attention to the teachers. I always picked the window seat. Does that make sense? That's just me. I like to look outside and see things. That love carried my whole life, then ended up getting a job where I could protect what I love so much. Does that make sense? I'm a happy guy. I love the outdoors. Now I'm protecting the outdoors. So you've seen the shows Northwoods Law, Wardens, Lone Star Law. Everybody loves those shows. I kind of do and I kind of don't. Some of those shows, I watched the officers embarrass themselves. They're ready to 80-year-old man a ticket because they didn't have a sticker on his side by side. I don't care what you're doing, you're 80. You write someone else a ticket because they forgot their license back at their truck. So as I speak today, I'm going to bring up my way of working, my way of thinking, how I treat people, and how it educates the public and the relationship that you're able to build when you treat people well. So those shows are good. I just wish they would learn how to treat the public better. Does that make sense at all? I'm not interested in watching someone get a ticket because they forgot their license this year. Just tell them to buy a license. If there's 2 in the morning and they shot a big buck on my property, I want to see that. Okay, John, have you been to my seminars before? Which one? Algarama?
Yeah. Woods and Water.
Woods and Water. You've heard some of this before.
I read the books.
Yeah, John's one of my marketing friends. He's always helping me with the books. So
Good books.
Everybody's marketing friends.
what I end up doing as I'm working, as I was out protecting nature, I started noticing I was making these really fun cases, interesting, dangerous, sometimes funny, sometimes crazy. So I end up writing 2 books. And I got a third one coming out the end of summer. It's already written, I just got to do all the fancy stuff to get it published. But there's my 2 books. I have them here today if someone wants them. People get them for gifts, people, buy them for their deer camp, whatever. But as I'm talking this next 45 minutes or an hour, people want to hear stories. Can you guys hear me all right? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can.
I end up telling a few stories because that's what we love. We love to see what goes on outdoors. So let me tell you, when I mentioned this Northwoods Law and how I wish they would give more warnings and treat the public better and educate the public, I call that compassion. To have compassion for hunters and fishermen means something to me as an officer. I have a lot of passion, obviously, because I'm a wild man. I've chased everybody and done everything else in my career, but my compassion shows, and let me give you a quick story of what I mean here. Opening day of deer season one year, I was out between Ruby and Avoca, and I'm driving down the road, and there's a young kid, 20 years old, and he's standing there, and he waves at me, and he's just full of blood. I look at him, he's got blood from head to toe. It's opening day, it's pretty normal. I said, well, hi, buddy, how you doing? Good. Did you get a deer? No. Oh. Did you cut yourself or something? Yeah. Where at? He's looking for a cut. There's no cut. It's deer season. So I let him show me his arms, and he's not cut. Finally said, okay, buddy. It's not a big deal, but where's your deer? I shot 2 of them before it was light this morning, and I'm trying to get a third one. Okay, at least you're telling the truth now. Let's take this in steps. Where's the deer? Well, they're in the basement already. Okay, let's go there. There's 2 little bucks laying in the basement. One's gutted, one's not gutted. What I didn't tell you, this kid's from a poor family. They have no money. He's feeding his family. And I'm like, oh no, I'm supposed to take his gun, take both deer, put him in jail, charge him $5,000 or whatever. And I'm looking at this poor kid. He wasn't doing anything that bad. He should have shot does, I guess, if he was looking for me. But he thought he was doing something good for his family. I ended up not arresting him. I gave him a ticket for getting his tag. He didn't buy a hunting license. Went to the Fargo market, made him buy a license, and I let him keep the deer. That's compassion, right? Try to educate him. Tell him, don't do that again. That's not what we want people doing. The end of that story, John, from the book, the same kid, a year later, I'm driving down the road, out in front of his house, and he waves at me. And he's full of blood. It wasn't even deer season yet. I said, hey buddy, did you cut yourself? Because I asked him that last time. Yeah, no. What happened? Margaret did this. Margaret is a deer that he picked up as a fawn in the spring. Now it's fall, and it grew up and didn't want him to keep it anymore. And the young doe slapped him with his hoof and cut his hand from here to here. Oh. So it paid him back for poaching the $2. But the same kid, this time he told the truth. He didn't cut himself, the deer did it. But the fact is, most officers would have taken him to jail and taken his deer. I don't like that way of thinking. Does that make sense? I'm not saying it's all right to do, but sometimes an officer needs to use some judgment here. So those are just a few stories I'll throw out as we go. I'll tell you some crazy ones in a little while, but now my career has led into this type of thing where I speak to groups. I go all over many states now. I go to libraries, churches, clubs, sportsmen's clubs and things. And the message is always the same. Get outdoors and go fishing and hunting and enjoy the water and the woods, but try to care for nature. Try to respect what we have, right? I also write for magazines now. And my favorite magazine right now is believe it or not, it's an Amish magazine. They don't have computers. So it's a national magazine. I write 2 pages every single month. And they don't change one word. If I want to say fishing's good, good. If I want to say God gave us our resources, anything I put, most magazines, they won't do that nowadays. They want to edit and change everything. So that magazine reminds me of something that happened in the last few years here. I was doing an interview in Texas and Louisiana on a radio show, and the interviewer said, John, will you tell us what book in school, what's the first book that had a lasting impression on you? And I said, I'll tell you what books did not. My chemistry and my physics and some of that foreign stuff, history. Most of us didn't like those things and we forgot them anyway, right? I said, well, I'll tell you what did. There was a magazine when I was a kid that I used to read that looks like this. You ever see that? Outdoor Life?
Yeah.
When I was in school, this drew my attention. This is what I wanted to read instead of Egyptian something that they used to teach us that I forgot. Okay, this was interesting to me. There was a section inside this that I always ask people this question, just a certain section in here that was very interesting. Do you remember what it was called? John, you remember what it's called?
I know exactly what section you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
We all went to it, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
There's a section in this magazine called This Happened to Me.
Yeah.
And it's people out fishing and hunting and hiking and had a mishap, but ended up surviving. But they're interesting. You're out canoeing one day and the canoe flips over in the river and you're half drowned and hang onto a branch, or you're out and a grizzly bear attacks you.
Yeah.
Back in school, that drew my interest. I liked that type of stories, right? Unknowingly, 50 years later, I wrote a book. Now, he said, what made an impression on me? What was the first book that I remember? I wrote my first book, and without thinking about it, I had 100 stories